Hey, what is up guys? Mr.Richie here, back today with another video. And for today's video I wanted to discuss something that I do in my spare time, and that is host a Minecraft server. Now this might be a more of an in-depth video on how to create a Minecraft server, and this is from scratch. I'm gonna show you everything that you're gonna need and what processes you need to do. And also, for a little bonus, I'm going to show how to make a Java plus Bedrock server, meaning both Bedrock and Java can play together. So if that interests you, stay in, but whatever. So first things first, you're going to need a computer with about 4 gigs of RAM. Here I have just right here I have my computer. These are just spare parts that I got from my cousin after he replaced his old ones. So yeah, you don't need, say, a whole separate computer. You could have your own computer running it, say your laptop, the same one you're playing Minecraft with. That is if it can support both playing Minecraft and also running the server at the same time, because running the server takes about 2 gigs of RAM. So me personally, I think I would be able to do it, but just for most people's sake, I'd say have their own separate computer. If you see back there, that was my mom's computer. I used to run my server off that, but it's running Windows 10 on a hard drive and it is kind of slow. So I'm gonna go ahead and flash Windows 10 on this and get it running, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys what other steps we need to take. Okay, so I have finished building my PC, and as you can see, it is back here. So yeah, right now I'm just installing Windows 10, but I wanted to list off a prerequisite of things that you're gonna need in order to even do this process. And one of those things can be actually quite hard to get to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and list them out. 1, a computer that must and can be able to run the server. Now, like I said, this can be your computer that you're gaming on, and you can host it if you have a powerful enough computer to run at the same time. If not, you can have an external computer like I do. 2nd, have the latest version of Java installed. Now, you could just easily search up Java on the internet and you will be able to download the latest version of Java. 3rd, you have to download the Minecraft server .jar file. This is only if you want to play with Java only people. You wouldn't be able to play with people of Bedrock if you were to go with this. But that's basically how you run the server anyways, with that jar file. 4th, now this is the more complicated one, especially let's say if you were a kid. Have access to your router's settings / CLI. So now this is kind of difficult to explain, but in order to have a certain step, in order to play with people that are outside of your local area network, your private network, you're gonna need to have access to your router settings so you can enable something called port forwarding. We'll go into that when we get to that part, but if you need help with this part, read up on your ISP's router settings, or ask your parents if you're a kid. But yeah, so that's the 4th step. The 5th step is know your public IP. Now, this is simple enough. Let me just explain why you need to know your public IP. So for home networks, we have 2 types of IPs. We have our private IP and we have our public IP. Our private IP is how other devices on our home network are able to communicate with our other device. So my private IP for this computer that I have over here, that's the one that this computer uses in order to communicate with it. But the other way, with a public IP, that public IP is what computers outside of our network, say my friend from Arkansas, he uses that IP to communicate with my computer, or in this case, our server. So I know it's a bit complicated, but all you have to do is search up what is my IP. That is essentially all you need in order to run a basic Java server. Now there are other steps to run a Java Bedrock server, but we will get into that when we get to that. Okay, so I have my server up and running with Windows 10, and now we have to download the right version of Java for our server. Now, I've tried a lot and I've failed for 1.19.3, but I think we have found the correct version. I will leave it in the description if it turns out to be the right one. So we want to get the actual version for our operating system. I am running Windows 10 at 64-bit. So I'm going to go ahead and download this installer. This is what I want to use. And once it's done installing, we're going to go ahead and run it. Okay. So from here, we're going to want to go and download our actual server file. So here, the latest version is Minecraft Server 1.19.3.jar. We're going to go ahead and download that. It's going to save in our download folder. It's going to say that it's a harmful file, but we can go ahead and press keep because we know it's from Minecraft. From there, we're going to want to open up our downloads, and we're going to want to put this server file in a place where we want to have it. So I'm going to put it in my desktop, and I have this folder called test server. So from here, we're going to want to open it up, and here is where I have my file. Now, just to make sure, we're going to want to open up command prompt, and we're going to want to make sure we have Java installed. So from here, we're going to type the command Java version, and it will show us that yes, we do in fact have Java version 17.0.5. We're going to close that out for the meantime. You could keep it open. Up here, we're going to want to double click this, and this will actually show us the directory of where our server file is saved. So we're going to want to copy this. You could press Control C, or you could also right click and copy. And from here, we're going to type in the following command: cd space, and then press Control V, and it will actually enter our directory. We will paste in our directory, and if you press enter, command prompt now is viewing this folder. And from here, we want to type the following prompt: Java space dash jar, and then we want to enter the name of the file. So in my case, it is server.jar. You want to add the .jar at the end and press enter, and it will unpack the server. And here, this is essentially the contents of the server. From here, you want to first go to the EULA and open it. You can open it with Notepad. So from here, it says, by changing the setting below to true, you're indicating you agree to our EULA. Here's the actual the EULA, the end user license agreement, and it has the date. So from here, you want to set it to true, and then save it. And from here, you can go ahead and run the server. Now what this will do is it'll actually create the world, as you can see, and from here the server is running. Well, at least it's spawning, but yes, the server is running. And you can play on your local area network, your private network, right away. So one way you could do this, say you have your little brother's computer or something like that, and you want them to join your world. Since they are on the same network, they don't need to know the public address. So from here, you could put ipconfig / all, and it'll show you all your information. Here for me, it shows my IPv4 address. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. So we are here in Minecraft, and we are gonna go ahead and try and join the server. Now I have had the server up before, but it's not there yet. So from here, you're going to want to go to either add a server or direct connection. A direct connection will let you connect directly via the IP, and add the server will let you add it here. So we're going to go direct connection, and then we're going to actually type in, I don't believe I have it. Oh, I do. So we're going to type in our IP, or you can copy and paste it, and you can put join server, connecting to server, logging in, encrypting, joining world, and here I am actually in the server. Now this only works because the PC that I'm currently running this on is actually on the same network as the PC that is the server. Now I could go ahead and play, and I have no latency because we are essentially not even communicating over the internet. We're just communicating over our network device. Now if your only goal was to play with your family members, whether it be a brother or children or wife, spouses, then this is all you would really need to do. You wouldn't need to have a whitelist, because you're not going to be inviting anyone else, and your router isn't forwarding ports. So yes, if all you wanted to do was play LAN, then here you are. You're ready to go, and congratulations. But what if you want to play with your friends that are not a part of your local area network and are at their own homes playing on their own internet? Well, that is a bit more complicated, but I will show you how to do that. Okay, so port forwarding. That is probably the toughest part of all this. You're gonna need to enable port forwarding on your router if you want to play with your friends that are not connected to your internet or your network at all. So as you can see on screen, there's the site called portforwarding.com. It'll teach you all about port forwarding and how to do it. I'm just gonna go over the basics with you. So essentially what port forwarding is that your people will send traffic towards you through a certain port. In Minecraft's case, is 25565, I believe, and your router will then forward that information to a certain device on your network that is accepting that port, traffic to that port. And in our case, it is our server holding Minecraft, which accepts the 25565 port. So this is portforwarding.com. I'll leave a link to it. So right here, it has a list of routers, and it'll show you guides on how to do port forwarding on your router. And I'll definitely leave this in the description. This is very helpful. It'll help you do port forwarding on your specific router. Like I said, if you are a child, I would consult your parents before doing so, because you could really mess up your internet. So I'm going to show you how I did it on my phone. So I went over here, and I believe I went to advanced, and port forwarding is an option on my router. So I went ahead and did that, and as you can see, I have two different ports. Now the Bedrock one I will explain later on, but Minecraft with the boys is what I have set for my port forwarding for the Java server. So I have it set to my public IP address, and the port is set to the Minecraft port, which is 25565. So as you can see, I set my internal IP as my IP for the server, and for the internal port I put 25565. They'll designate all traffic to my public IP address, and all that traffic is going to the 25565 port, which is Minecraft. So that is essentially what it means. I know it kind of seems complicated, but that's how it works. Now you would, under your certain router and configuration, you would need to have that done. Like I said, portforwarding.com has all that set for you. So if you go ahead and you know your router and the name of it and whatever, and you have access to it, then it shouldn't be too hard as long as you follow the exact steps that are given at portforwarding.com. But yeah, so essentially that is what it is to port forwarding. I can't really show you how to do it because we all have different routers. We all have different ISPs. Okay, so now we have our router port forwarding the Minecraft port for Java edition. So we want to test if we're able to join via our router's public IP address. Now we're going to go ahead and search up what is my IP. And searching this up will show you the IP address that your router uses to forward traffic from all the other devices towards it. It's only going to have one, so you can also search this up in your other computer if you don't want to be going back and forth between your server. But yeah, so you're going to search this up, what is my IP, and it'll tell you right here what your IP address is. Now you're going to go ahead and copy that, because we're going to go ahead and use that to connect. Now if you have any other friends that want to join, you would send them this IP address and they would connect using this IP address. Okay, so we're here in Minecraft and we're going to join using our public IP address instead of our private one. So you want to go either add server direct connection, and instead of using your private IP, we use our public IP. And the same goes for your friends, so that they're able to play with you even though they're not on your network. Once you have entered your public IP, press join server and log in encrypting, and there you go. We're in, meaning you did everything right, port forwarding is correct, and we are able to play together. And it's as easy as that. Okay, so my mic corrupted a bit there, but I'll explain what I was trying to say before my mic went crazy. So if you don't trust your friends with your IP, then you could do something called a whitelist. So what a whitelist is essentially it'll allow you to enter the usernames of people that you do want on your server, and by entering their usernames, they're allowed to join your server. Anyone else who has access to your IP but is not on the whitelist will not be able to join. So we're going to go ahead and fix that. First thing you want to do is go to your server properties file, and you want to right click, open with notepad, and scroll all the way down to the whitelist option. It's going to be set to false. You want to change that to true. Once done, you can save and exit. So we can test out if the whitelist is in effect. If I go back to my PC and try to join, obviously I can't because I'm not on the whitelist. In order to add someone to the whitelist, you need to issue the following command: whitelist add, and then your username. Mine is Mr.Richie. From there, you could test whether or not it worked, and in my case, obviously it worked. And that is how you can have a fully dedicated Java server with a whitelist. Now for a Java/Bedrock server, we're gonna have to retract some of the things that we've already done, but the process is pretty much the same. Okay, so in order to do this, we're gonna need a few more things aside from the different server. So for my server of choice, usually I go with PaperMC. It is a version, it's a different offshoot of Spigot. So you can go ahead and download the newest version. We have 1.19.3. So it's essentially the same thing as the server.jar from Minecraft, but instead we're using it with plugins. So we're gonna go ahead and move this to our desktop or wherever you want it, and we're gonna add it to a new folder. For me, it's gonna be 1.19.3 server. See, we have more folders than were in the previous one. including one that says plugins. So once we're done here, we're gonna go ahead and actually close the server and download 2 plugins, and they are Floodgate and GeyserMC. So Floodgate is essentially what allows us to have Bedrock people join us. So we're gonna go ahead and download the Floodgate Spigot.jar version because we're using PaperMC. We're gonna go ahead and download that, and then we're gonna go ahead and go to GeyserMC, and we're gonna go ahead and also download that one too, but the Spigot version. Okay, so here we have our plugins. So we're gonna go to our plugins folder, and then we're gonna drop in our 2 plugins. But once we have, we're gonna run the server again, and this time it'll actually see that there's plugins, and it'll make sure those plugins run with them. And as you can see, it says up there PaperMC, Floodgate, and yeah, so it's running. We got it working, and all we need to do is close again, plugins, and as you can see, it created 2 folders. So we're going to go to Floodgate, and you see the key.pem. We're going to go ahead and copy that, go back to plugins, and go to Geyser Spigot, and we're going to paste this in here. Okay, so I'm here on my phone. Seems my UI changed, so I'm going to try and figure that out. So for here, we're going to have to port forward for Bedrock, and Bedrock has a different port from the Java edition. So we're going to go ahead and port forward, and advanced NAT forwarding. Yeah, they renamed it to NAT forwarding, port forwarding, and there you go. So here we have the internal port set to 19132. And that is the port that we will be forwarding to. And from here, once you start forwarding, Bedrock players should be able to join our game. And I will go ahead and test this on my Nintendo Switch. Okay, so we're here on the Switch. This could also be done on Xbox. You just need to go through the same kind of process, but on the Xbox version of the UI. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to System Settings, and you will find the internet, right? So here it'll show you your internet settings and whatever. So once you go to internet settings, you want to click on the network that you are actually using. So in my case, it's this one, and you want to go down to change settings. So here you'll go all the way down, and where it says DNS settings, you want to change that to manual. It'll be set to automatic, but if you change it to manual, this is what you want to put. Now I must say that the DNS and the secondary DNS, they change every now and then. Before, the secondary DNS used to be 8.8.8.8. This is what they are right now, and I'm pretty sure they work for me. So once you do have them set to that, you want to press save, and then go into Minecraft. Once you're here in Minecraft, make sure you're signed into a Microsoft account. Press play. Go to servers. And then you're going to join a server. So you're going to put join server. Okay, so once you join the server, it actually takes you to this, which is usually doesn't happen. So what you want to do is put connect to a server. And from here, this is where you want to enter your public IP address. Okay, so once you added your public server IP as the address, you can go ahead and name it if you wish, and then you can press this button to add it to the server list. And if you want to join, again, the process is the same. You'll just press you'll join any server that they have there, and it'll lead you to the server list, and your server should be on there. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, we're actually in the server. Now this is a Java server, which is pretty crazy. So if I go over to my desktop and load up Minecraft, so as you can see, my character from Java is actually standing in front of my Bedrock character. Now this is pretty crazy, but they actually interact pretty well. There's no real issues that I see whenever playing Java and Bedrock together. Sometimes the skins won't appear, but as you can see, you can hit him and he will hit you. You guys will interact normally as if you're playing the same version of the game. Okay, so those are all the steps on how to make a Minecraft server in 2023, and also with the added bonus of a Minecraft Java Bedrock server. So we now have the opportunity to play with our Xbox friends if we're playing from Java, and vice versa. So I hope you guys found this useful. I will leave the material needed in the description below, and I thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good time.